Are we live? Oh, I'm so pretty. All right. Why am I doing this stream? Oh, I know why. Because all the videos I've currently got in production or edited or online or whatever can't go live yet. So I wanted to at least give you guys something. Although it's my cringy face on a camera. Nick is over there in his chair. You can turn, say hi, Nick. Now the thing is like perfectly blocking your face. You gotta bend down. You gotta go down. There's Nick. His one job is to ban you if you're stupid. So there you go. That's his only job. But I figured while we listen to the piano instructor next door playing, it's actually not him playing. I think it's a student. That's why it sucks. But I figured we would just kind of hang out and do a year-end recap thingamabobber and talk with you guys and see what's up. Jay, I love you. You're better than Linus. This isn't a better than. This has nothing to do with better than. You need to snap out of that mentality. That's a stupid way to live. All right. Notice you. You're noticed. Now you can go. Hi from Sweden. Update on the post build. Yeah, we're starting we're going to start it early Q1 next year. We had to get past CES. He's got to finish his album and all that stuff. And considering this build is based on his album, I need the album to come out so that I can get the inspiration from the album for the build. That's how that works. Do you hate Nick? Nick, do I hate you?
No.
Okay, that was easy. Hello from Croatia. Wow, that's way. I'm surprised my internet actually works that far away. I know it's not how the internet works. Shut up. Oh, the chat's moving too fast again. I hate when that does that. Nick is better than Jay at some things. Like today, we determined that he is better at cooking finger foods than I am.
That's one victory for me.
It's one victory. Yeah. There's other things you're better at than me. Sleeping, whining, complaining.
Wow.
No, not wow. I'm better than you at wow.
Calm down.
Don't tell me what to do. Oh boy. Jay, you have a dead pixel on your lip. It's more than 1 pixel actually. It's like 8. It's like 8 pixels. ABC World News is on, so no live show for me. Wow, you must have an exciting life, sir. Sorry, I can't watch. ABC World News is going. I can't wait to watch that Dan Rather guy. Oh, wait, didn't he retire? Anyway. Can you guys hear the piano? Listen. Yeah, we get to listen to that all afternoon. Fortunately, we do our filming in the morning, so by the time the afternoon rolls around, we don't have to deal with that. Also, it's louder up here in the second story than it is down there, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah.
Nick stopped playing Minesweeper. He's not playing Minesweeper. In fact, I told him just play a game or whatever. I was like, you should just be over there playing games while I'm live streaming. He's like, no, I'm going to moderate the chat. I'm like, okay.
I mean, I guess I could go play games.
Murdered with words. Is Alienware really as bad as people make it seem? No. It's just you pay a premium for a company like Alienware. And that's what people hate about Alienware is the fact that you are paying for the name on something you could easily build yourself for less. That's what people hate about it. So, I mean, it's the same off-the-shelf parts, with the exception of like some custom-made things like the cases and stuff like that. Anyone could build anything. Any system integrator is building and selling. You could build yourself. It's just whether or not you have the time, the patience to do custom mod work and all that sort of things to make it look that cool. But I think there's some pretty damn good stuff on the market that you could build yourself. But I do also advocate for pre-built systems if you're the kind of guy that's like, I want a warranty. So yeah, there's that. Wow, you already banned somebody. Wow, you're fast. He wields that banhammer, man. He doesn't have that much job like description, and banhammer's one of them. So don't piss him off, okay? Oh gosh, here comes the super chats. I forgot about that. Jay, how's your car doing? Car's doing fine, just needs an alignment now. When we do next minimum versus recommended gaming PC video again, I was gonna do it with Battlefront 2, and I probably still will. There was just so much there was so much negativity following around that launch because EA, of course, was being EA again and dipping into everybody's pockets. I didn't really want to promote anything with EA, but I have been playing the game. I've been playing campaign mostly because I love Star Wars, and it's not a bad game. It's just it was a bad publisher. Hey Jay, I was just curious as to when you will be releasing your next video around your small form factor build with the Torque Ghost S1. Good question. The Loke, I said Torque, the Loke Ghost S1. Or Loki. Everyone says it's Loki. Whatever. The Ghost S1. Okay, so that I have early access to that case. It's not completely done yet. There's some changes they're making to it. There's some additional pieces I'm getting for it. That stuff is coming when they do their mass production in early 2018, like early, I think January. So I've been in discussion with them about that, but that will be coming later on. And when that does is when I'll be doing the build. I could technically build in it as it sits now, but I kind of want a silver one or a white one. So I'm waiting for that. I have so many builds that are like partially started right now, don't I, Nicholas? I said I have so many builds that are like partially started. Like how many do we have? Like 3 or 4?
Yeah, 4.
We have like 4 builds that have started but can't really go any farther yet, which really sucks. EA is essentially cancer for games. I think many people would agree with that statement. Challenge for you, Jay. Do a $150 gaming PC. It's called a smartphone. Off Craigslist. Can you make a Hackintosh guide? Nope. I have no interest in Hackintosh. I could make one, but I'm not gonna. What do you think about delidding an i7? I don't personally delid my CPUs because my temperatures are fine. My 7960X right here, which you're watching this on right now, is a 16 core, 32 thread, running on a 360 radiator, no delidding. And and it's overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz right now. And when I'm rendering and doing my workflow and stuff, it never exceeds like 49C on the package. And the cores will reach like low 60s to high 50s. That's perfectly fine. Considering thermal junction on these is like 95C or something like that, there's no reason for me to delid it. There's no reason for me to take the risk of damaging a $1,700 CPU or whatever it costs because I want to get a 5 or 10C thermal reduction when I'm nowhere near my limits as it is. That's my thoughts on delidding. Delidding to me is like something that the extreme overclocker, the guy that has to get the absolute positive, coldest and best transfer of heat, which is going to be the guys that are doing like LN2 and world overclocking attempts and stuff like that. That's not me. So I don't have the desire to take the risk with that. Hope that answer makes sense. One of the best things that came to market was that tool that DeBauer made. And he showed it to me a couple years ago at CES. It was like a prototype at that time. Do you remember that, Nick? Remember when he came up to us at the overclocking event and showed us his prototype? It is a pretty damn awesome tool, making delidding something that's easy for the random guy to want to be able to do delidding, where normally you have to do it with a razor blade or the vice method or whatever. He's made it more mainstream. Ever since then now, the words i7 and delid seem to go hand in hand, where I think like a lot of people just throw around the whole delid without actually ever thinking about delidding and who it really pertains to. So that's kind of been my opinion on it. I haven't needed to delid anything, so I'm not going to. Delidding was something that also became more talked about with the, not Ivy Bridge, but post that Haswell, where there was just such a bad application of thermal material for the IHS with Intel that it became a necessity at that point, even for standard clocks. But we're not really there right now, in my opinion. Moscow 239 watching Comrade Jayz. Okay, hi. Rocket 88 is awesome. Is it? I have no idea what that is. Where's Post Malone's build? I'm not answering the Post Malone question anymore. I've answered it enough. It's up to you to go find the answers now. Jay, are you going to go make a Ryzen 2 build as you did with the 1800X? Is there a Ryzen 2? Did I miss something? It's probably CES launch, right? I haven't really paid too much attention. Jay, do you like Trip Lee? What's Trip Lee? You don't know? No. All he did was mumble, so I have no idea if he knows or not. How fun is PUBG? I played 2 matches total. And that was when I was testing like the budget build. Is this at the studio? No, everything you see behind me is a green screen. Yes, I'm at the studio. Let's see. Oh shit, what up? Yo, what up, Lane? I got a fart. Just thought you should know. What is the quietest GPU non-water cooled? The one that runs 0 RPM on the fans? Hey Jay, I got a Corsair 750D. Is this fine for custom water cooling and GPU and CPU? I feel like I've failed. I feel like I have failed if that question has to be asked. If you can fit radiators in it, then it's probably good enough. Jay, do you suspect mainstream Volta being launched soon? I don't know. I mentioned that in my video, and a lot of people contradicted me, saying that there is a different family of GPUs coming from Nvidia that's not technically Volta. I don't know. Will we see HBM from Nvidia in mainstream? I think it has everything to do with cost of manufacturing, and whether or not the cost of manufacturing is going to allow it to come to market under $1,000 per GPU. Yes, the Titan was $1,200. Yes, the Titan was always at least $1,000, but that wasn't the main demographic. You know, more 1050s and 1060s sell than any other GPU, and I don't think they're going to be able to provide HBM at that price range. So I think we'll see an HBM variant, but I don't think we're going to see like a stack of HBM. I don't think we're going to see like a new 2000 series stack of HBM. Jay, what's your opinion on the MSI Z270 M3 gaming motherboard? It's a motherboard, and it's for Z270. I'm really indifferent to stuff like that. I mean, a motherboard's a motherboard. To get one that looks good, has good reviews, has a well-built VRM, and has a decent network card on it, has a decent sound card, whatever. And if it meets those needs for you, then you're good to go. I don't spend a lot of time really getting too caught up in motherboard tech. Do you think that's a fair answer? Do you think I answered that truthfully, like the way we go through stuff here and the logic we imply when we build our stuff here?
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of really cool motherboards, but I don't find like my need of, like, I'm gonna be using the Rampage for myself.
Yeah.
But that's only because, quite honestly, I like the lighting effects and stuff on it. So it came down to that superficial of a decision. The new Strix X299, no, I'm sorry, not Strix. It's the Rampage Apex X299.
Sweet.
But I don't like the angles and stuff that are cut into it. But that would have been perfect for the Cougar build. Like if I didn't do Threadripper on that one, that would have been perfect because it would have matched the case with all the angles and stuff cut into the motherboard. But I don't like that, so that's a reason why I wouldn't use that motherboard.
I think if anything, I push you more for design of like for motherboard design and stuff. Like we should try using this one every now and then.
I try and tie it into the aesthetic,
Yeah.
for sure. What do you think about the X299 Dark by EVGA offering Windows XP? What? What did you say? XP support. Well, I think it's awesome that they're offering XP support. My thoughts on the X299 Dark. They have made some changes in the design of that case ever since we saw it at Computex. And although it's a fantastic case, aesthetically, I'm not that pleased with it. I don't like the design choice of it anymore. I feel like, so here's where I feel we kind of are with EVGA and their motherboards. EVGA's motherboards, in terms of, sorry, I'm noticing all this dust in my keyboard now. It's bothering me. We don't turn these lights on very often, so now I'm looking at my keyboard in the daytime going, ugh. You ever done that? You look at your keyboard and you're like, oh crap. Anyway, EVGA over the last 3 years or so has been some of the most rock solid motherboards that I've ever used in terms of overclocking, in terms of just day-to-day stability, and just knowing that motherboard is going to work. What I feel like EVGA has really lacked is a real good aesthetic element to their motherboards. They're very minimalistic. In fact, the X299 boards, like the For the Win K, is the first time they've put LED lighting of any sort on their motherboards in a long time, like any sort of lighting effects. I'm not talking about like Q codes and trouble lighting and stuff like that. I'm talking about like a lighting effect. That particular design they went with is definitely against the grain. Some love it, some hate it. The Dark, for instance, has gold trim, and it has the VRM fans built onto it. And I feel like it's, and this is getting a chance to kind of know Vincent a little bit, Kingpin, who designed this motherboard. I understand he is 100% function over form, but I'm personally like 50-50 on that. And whereas the motherboards were very plain in the past, I feel like they now that they're trying to apply a design aesthetic, I feel like they are on rocky ground with me in terms of like how good the motherboards look. Like the Further Wind K is all right, especially if you just set the LEDs to a static color or turn them off altogether. I feel like the dark kind of went way out into left field for me. So that's my personal opinion. Am I a fan of RGB, and in your opinion, what is the best CPU? I can't answer your best CPU question. That's really vague. Am I a fan of RGB? I think that's kind of a silly question. Everyone should be a fan of RGB. Whether you want it to be in disco mode like my keyboard is at all times, because I never really changed it. The point of RGB is not to go out there and be a rainbow puke. The point is to show that there's a spectrum of lighting, and you could choose any color that you want within that spectrum. It's just the best way to demonstrate that is by putting it in demo mode where it's got all the LEDs dancing around. Anyone who's like, I'm so sick of RGB, really means they're sick of the RGB marketing. But they should never be sick of RGB because it gives you a true choice in color. If you've ever had a red keyboard with red lighting only, and one day you're like, man, I really wish I had a white keyboard, you gotta go buy a new keyboard. If you have RGB, you just change the color and you're good to go. So anyone that says, I hate RGB is full of shit. What they actually mean is they hate RGB marketing. Thoughts on the new Tesla Roadster? Oh, as a guy who really likes the internal combustion engine, it's really hard to argue with those numbers, right? I said for a long time that they should make a sports car, and I'm glad that they finally did. Will I own one? Probably never, because of the price. The price puts it well out of my range, that's for sure. When do you think DDR4 prices are going to go down? Oh man, I have no idea. DDR4 pricing is a bit ridiculous. We have seen it double in the last year and a half. Double. That is ridiculous. Does disabling hyperthreading in modern CPUs lower temp and power like back in Nehalem and Sandy Bridge days? Of course it does. Why would that change? It's still hyperthreading. The CPUs are a little bit more efficient, but it's still hyperthreading. Do you feel you announced the Post Malone build too soon? No, I don't. Because if you remember, Terry Crews' build took 5 months. It took 5 months to do that. But what I have to remember too is a lot of diehard Post Malone fans came flooding the channel thinking they were going to see a build right then and there, and they have been nagging the shit out of me ever since then. I've actually started blocking and or muting people that are like constantly nagging about it. It's unfortunate, but I'm tired of every time I go to my social media, I've got to sift through 50 where's the Post Malone builds to find an actual comment worth interacting with. Cooler Master vertical GPU brackets, your thoughts? My thoughts are they make your GPU vertical. Right? It's fair. Yeah, okay. Which mini Z270 board is best for OC? I don't know. I haven't really looked into mini ITX stuff too much. I have to start looking at mini ITX though for Z370 because I'm probably going to end up doing like a 8700K or maybe the 8600K inside of that Ghost S1 case. But yeah, I haven't paid too much attention. Does your kid want Sphero for Christmas? I'm going to say no because I don't recall ever hearing her mention Sphero. I have no idea what Sphero is. What is Sphero?
The Bluetooth EVGA, I believe. The one that follows you with the wristwatch and stuff.
She has never mentioned that. Oh. Does it work on tile?
Pretty sure it would.
Huh. But she's never mentioned that, like one time. Is the FX 9590 good for gaming? No, it's terrible for gaming, but it is excellent for pornography. What does Nick's PC has in it? Well, the one he's on right there, it's technically not his PC. It's just a computer that's still built. It's actually the one that Jerry built in our build challenge. Remember that? The one that's got the naked ladies on the front and the scoop and all that stuff. He's still using that one. His PC at home, I believe, one of them has a 7700K, the one you built.
Yeah.
7700K. It's got a 980 Ti in it?
No, that has
the 780. Oh, wow. Everyone's going to tell me that I'm a terrible boss because you're using a 780. You know this, right?
You're not a terrible boss. It's just I'm upgrading it on my own time. It's my personal project.
It's your own personal project. You guys know that Luke over at Linus Tech Tips doesn't get to just take home GPUs, right? I mean, people don't realize that.
I have too many projects going on. That's the problem.
I think what people don't realize is all that stuff down there doesn't belong to me personally either. It belongs to the corporation, as far as I'm concerned. That's the way it's handled. It's the way it's insured. It's not mine. It's the way I see it. Even though I own the business, it's different. Okay, so anyway, so it's a 780 with a 7700K. Man, that's a weird match. That's really weird. Okay, anyway, moving forward. What is it, 16 gigs of RAM?
Yep.
DDR4?
Yep.
It's using that NZXT case?
Yeah.
The NZXT Switch 810, the one I gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's water cooled. It's the one with the rigid tubing that we did, right?
That one has flex tubing now, remember?
Oh, it's flex tubing now, yeah. And then the other rig you have is the one I built him. That video I built him. It's, yeah, 880. What was it?
The birthday build?
Was it 5820K?
5820K.
Oh, 5820K?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. It's a 5820K, 980 Ti, and it has other parts in it.
Yeah, and it has from the first
The
one.
problem is we've done so many builds and have actually like dealt with so many parts since then. It's hard to like remember what went where.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we have an inventory. Speaking of GPUs and how many GPUs we have, that's funny.
A lot.
Last time I counted the inventory, there were 76. We had 76 graphics cards, but that's not all of them. That doesn't include the 3 extra Titans that just arrived for my build and post build.
Yeah. Those are
It doesn't include that 1080 classified sitting right there on the table. I mean, technically that's Brian's, but
before the win.
Oh, the one right there.
Oh.
See, there's a graphics card sitting on the table right there.
That's Brian's.
Yeah, that's Brian's. It doesn't include the 2 1080 Ti's that are in both of those builds right there, the one under your desk and the one on top. So it's probably closer to 80 GPUs. I'm getting ready to offload the lower end stuff, the older tiered stuff, like all the 980 Ti's and all that stuff. I'm getting ready to offload all that, either give away, sell, whatever, to make room, because literally our GPU like section of the shelving is ridiculously overstuffed. Whereas Tech Talk, it is on hiatus for holidays. As soon as we're done with CES, the show's going to come back with full force. We just, with all of the deadlines and projects I'm working on and stuff right now, Thursday was just really hard. Jerry got sick, and so it's one of those things where it's like, let's just bring it back in January. That made better sense. Have you ever stacked all of them up in a graphics card pyramid? No, because if it fell, it would kill somebody. Jay, you should be mining. You'd be making millions of Bitcoin. Do you think I can make millions when I pay 28 cents a kilowatt hour here? No. No, and fuck mining. I don't care about that. I don't care about any of that crap. I'm pretty indifferent when it comes to cryptocurrency. Like, I have a friend that's constantly asking me about cryptocurrency. And it's like, he's like, do you hate cryptocurrency? I was like, no. He's like, really? You don't hate it? No, I don't hate it. He's like, oh, because I thought like guys like you and gamers and stuff like hate cryptocurrency. I said, what I hate was what happened to the market because of it. But I don't hate cryptocurrency at all. I mean, I'm indifferent. Why would I hate it? It's just another thing that as of right now is not affecting me. It's still not affecting the paper dollar, which although it's worth nothing technically, I just have no interest in cryptocurrency mining. I wish I had bought like 100 coins back when they were like $300. You know, I would have totally dropped like $3,000 on that, or 300,000.
I thought you said 300. You said you would spend
I would buy 100 coins when they were $300. So that's
3,000.
that's 3,000, right? Or is it 30,000? No, 3,000. Add the zeros. How many zeros are there? It costs money. Okay. I would have bought 100 coins back when they were that much. Sure, of course, why not? But hindsight, anyone could say they would invest blah, blah, blah when they saw the return. GPU giveaway, please. Absolutely, Igor, but you are now disqualified from the giveaway because you suggested it. I hate it. Graphics card expensive. I guess you can't really argue with that, can you? Hey, Jay, is it okay to put a significant pressure on the motherboard to unscrew an M.2 heatsink on an Asus motherboard? Those screws are very fine. I don't know if I would necessarily like put that much force on it. 30, so 100 coins at 300 a piece would be 30,000. I'd still think it's worth it. Any chance you want to get liquored up and play CS? I want to get liquored up, but I don't want to play CS. Kyle just posted video man versus build the tank. Versus build the tank. What? Don't do drugs, okay? If you just put up the tank video, then awesome. Make sure you guys watch it. I wrecked my neck in that video. It still hurts today. It was worth it, though. How the fuck are you choosing how to reply? Whatever comment I look at and read is the one I reply to. And unfortunately, it sounds like you were trying to get my attention, and that's the one you got, and that's the answer you got. So you kind of wasted your notice me senpai. Jay, how old are you and Nick? I'm old enough. Nick is barely old enough.
Touche. Touche.
Am I old enough to drink? What a stupid question. I think you know the answer to that. What's your thoughts on the Jedi Order GPU aesthetic-wise? I think it looks like a lightsaber. And I think it's kind of cool.
The green should have been blue.
Yeah, but it's Nvidia. They had to get green in there somewhere, right? I mean, sure they have the red one, but for the dark side. But still, okay. So let me tell you what I kind of hate. That doesn't really narrow it down, does it? I hate everything. But when it comes to Star Wars GPUs and all that, I am sick. I am really sick of all of the companies that try and cash in on the hype of Star Wars. Every time a new Star Wars movie comes out or nears, you see all the Star Wars edition everything. The Star Wars edition cereal. Nissan's entire Rogue campaign last year.
Yeah, the Nissan Rogue.
All of Nissan in 2016. The Nissan Rogue. Come on. They even had a Star Wars edition. Okay? Because they happen to have a crossover car that had the same name as Rogue One, right? Nvidia with the Star Wars GPUs, whatever. Okay, I really don't care. But we're seeing it obviously right now, all this Star Wars stuff and things that otherwise wouldn't care because they're just trying to cash in on a pop culture. And I personally kind of hate that. Headaches, question mark? No, neck aches. I slept wrong and tweaked my neck. And I don't know if you guys know this. I have ailments. Nick's laughing because he knows it's true. I have ailments and particularly back problems and neck problems that stem from a really bad car accident in 2008. And every now and then I get really bad neck pain, even though I get regular adjustments and stuff. I just happened to sleep on it wrong today. I actually woke up to the crack in my neck when I tweaked it. And that's why I keep turning like this to look at Nick because I can't really turn my head right now. And you know, neck pain travels up into a headache. So yes. Star Wars razor blades? Were there really Star Wars razor blades?
Oh yeah, the Philips Norelco.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
I kind of wanted one, but I already have one.
Last Jedi sucks. Well, no one cares about your opinion, sir, which is why I didn't say whether or not I liked the movie. So, movie opinions are like assholes. Y'all have one and they all stink. Let's see here. It's just some of us wipe our assholes a little better than others. I didn't look at you when I said that because I'm implying that you don't. I'm just saying that, like, you know, the people that are the saltiest tend to have the worst wiped buttholes. Which at that point, I guess mine should be pretty chafy by now.
We gotta get you some of those baby moisturizers.
What's the deal with 1070s? What? Where'd it go? What's the deal with 1070s going back up in price? I don't know. 1700X or 7700K? I guess it depends on what you're doing. I think day-to-day usage and gaming and stuff like that, you'd have a hard time ever noticing a difference between the two. But if you're doing something that actually needs 16 logical cores, then 1700X is a logical choice. See what I did there? I kind of snuck that out. You're going to notice it in a minute. Okay. Would you ever do another build off? Yeah. It's a series that we're going to be doing, and I'm probably going to be doing it like once a quarter. So like 4 of them a year. You can't do them that often. You'll run out of contestants to do it with, and it'll just lose any of its excitement. So yeah. OnePlus also had a Star Wars edition phone. Jesus. Yeah. Jay, if you go with the 8700K, can you share what mainboard you would consider? Thanks. If you're talking about the ITX build I mentioned, I will do a video about all of that. So, and why I chose the parts I chose. Where's Little J? Do unboxings again? Little J is not exactly little anymore. And now she would just be like watching any older kid unbox something and then kind of be complaining about it.
She's a critic now.
She's 8 going on 18, I'm telling you. She is literally just like the most opinionated little punk there ever was. She is definitely my daughter. Why don't you talk about Macs or other Apple stuff on the channel? PC is preference. I have my MacBook Pro. I hardly ever use it, but PC is preference. And a lot of people don't really seem to understand this, but I tend to talk about things I like on this channel. I don't talk about things I don't like for the sake of talking about them for the channel. That's why my channel doesn't grow the fastest. That's why I don't get the most views. But I can say that I'm the most interested in my content because that's why I make it. There are lots of decisions I could make that would make me have a little bit more viral growth or would push me towards 2 million subscribers faster or put me over that, that next milestone of 10 million views a month or whatever. If I made choices that were sacrificing things I cared about. And I don't want to do that. I've never done that in the last 5 years I've been doing this, and I'm not going to. So that's why I don't talk about Macs. Good example. That's why I also don't talk about smartphones or necessarily consoles. I use those stuff. I have my phone. There's a PlayStation Pro. You can actually see the box right there. There it is. There's the box for the PlayStation Pro. But we don't talk about those things on the channel because we're not passionate about. I say we. Brian is super passionate about that stuff. I am not. So it's just things I use here and there. Not enough for me to ever talk about. Do you think developers will optimize their games for AMD GPUs? What a silly question. What a silly question. Why do I think that's a silly question? Should I elaborate on that, Nick?
Yeah.
Because every single game developer does optimize in some way for both sides of the GPUs, or both GPU families, AMD and Nvidia. AMD and Nvidia. But what you don't understand is it requires the companies to send their engineers and representatives to the developers, like AMD and Nvidia have to send people, like physically plant them in the office with these developers and spend time with them one-on-one to do the optimizations. Now, they also will send code and things via email or Dropbox or however they distribute it, right? For them to do optimization. But what it really takes to truly optimize a game is for the graphics engineers to be one-on-one, hands-on with the developers to get every ounce of performance out of it. The problem is, every game developer I've talked to, several of them this year alone, have mentioned that AMD has not been spending the money to send engineers as often or as frequent as they need to truly optimize for the hardware. So what you're getting is very lackluster, slow response where Nvidia has been sending teams to the developers to get things optimized. Now, does that make Nvidia a bad guy? Absolutely not, because it's exactly what AMD should be doing, but AMD hasn't been doing it to the level that they need to. So that is why when you hear this blah, blah, blah game is more optimized for Nvidia, you're absolutely right, because Nvidia invested the time, energy, and money and the people to make sure that that happens. AMD needs to do that as well. Games are agnostic. Listen to me. Even if a game developer receives money from one company or the other to optimize for a game, they do not, and I repeat, they do not sabotage the competition because the game developer is still independent from Nvidia. Sure, the money helps them, but they want everybody playing their game, everybody on, regardless of what the hardware is. So it is to their best benefit to make sure that the game runs as good as it possibly can on both sides. It's just when a developer has to take the hardware in and take the drivers and reverse engineer them and stuff to get them to work on one company's card, and they have to do that internally versus letting the GPU manufacturer do that for them and then send them the code, which do you think is going to be more beneficial and have more return on that investment? If AMD would just send the teams more often and actually had the means to do it, and my understanding is that there just haven't been the teams to send, you would see a lot of this, you'd see a lot less of this discussion of AMD is being sabotaged and this and that. I guarantee you that's not happening. That's exactly what's happening in the industry right now. Do I think there will be more DirectX titles in the near future? Will it be a long time? I think we've already seen firsthand that they are not going back really and taking old titles and updating them to DirectX 12, but titles that have launched since DX12 has come out usually have a DX12 mode. So of course I think more DX12 titles are going to come out. But I think a lot of people would agree that DX12 was not adopted as quickly as DX11 was when it first came out. Not entirely sure why that is. But when we moved from DX10, and DX10C and all that stuff to DX11, it was like overnight huge differences for gaming. It didn't really happen with DX12 nearly as fast. Oh boy, what do we got here? Jay, I'm so close to graduating. What area of IT looks good for a job? The one that interests you more, man. I can't answer that for you. If you're going to just follow the money, you're not going to be happy anyway. You've got to find your career path, and whatever subgenre of IT that you want that interests you and you think is exciting and would make it fun to go to work every day. If you go into programming because you're like, programmers can start making $120,000 a year or whatever it is here in the United States, but you hate programming, you're not going to be a good programmer. You're not going to last long. You're going to burn out. You're going to do something else anyway. If you love networking, though, then become a network system network engineer, whatever. Get your Cisco cert, all that sort of stuff. But you got to talk. You've got to really figure that out for yourself. Do I have a degree? I do not. I do not have a degree. I used to regret that. I used to regret not getting my degree. I looked at it as one of those like check marks you're supposed to check off in life. Until having long discussions with Brian. Some of you have seen Brian. He's the really energetic guy that appears every now and then in my videos. He's my brand manager. He's actually the guy that helps me communicate with brands and get deals and sign contracts and stuff, so I could go back to making videos for you guys and not spending all day on the phone and on email and stuff. He's the guy that's directly responsible for me running this business. He's the guy that pushed me into quitting my job and doing all of this. He's the guy I built that computer for and surprised him with. That's Brian. And I used to really regret not getting my degree. Now, his wife is a doctor of education. She's worked for school districts, and she's a professor. And she's the first person. He and she, they're a team, right? They do everything together. They're very much so. They're very much dedicated to the education of, I guess, humanity, right? But they're also the first people that will say that a formal college education is not for everyone. Not everyone will benefit from that. There's plenty of people who've gone and got their degree that thought suddenly they were successful and they'd be successful in life, and they're failing because their mindset, the degree does not make you smart. The degree does not make you a good worker, and the degree does not make you immediately hireable. It gets you an interview, Nick. That's what it really truly gets you today. But what guys like me are able to do is just perform and make the changes on the fly and make all of the adjustments I need to do to be successful. Education took too long. Getting my degree took too long. And I went to school for it. But it was like, it's going to take 3 to 4 years to get my bachelor's and another 2+ to get a master's and another 2+ to do a doctorate. We're talking 8 years of my adult life to be spent trying to get started. It wasn't for me. And some people in my family agreed with that. Some didn't. But at the same time, look at where I am today. I'm happy. There was a lot of luck involved here. But a formal college education and my particular way of thinking and my attitude, they were not. They were oil and water. That's all I can say. The education establishment and I did not get along. That's why I also didn't graduate high school on time. I don't know if a lot of you don't know that. I failed my senior year of high school. So I ended up having to go to summer school to graduate. It is what it is. I guess it kind of sucks though, having never walked. I've never graduated. I've never walked with a cap and gown. I've never received a diploma or any of that stuff. Technically, I have a high school diploma, but it was given to me like through a window at the office when I got it in the middle of summer school session. So it was like, congratulations, you're graduated. No, there's the door. Yeah, so whatever. What makes you love technology? I don't know. What makes anyone love anything? You can't answer that question. You can't just be like, this is why I love technology. You just know whether you're into cars, you're into games, you're into tech, or you're into aviation, or you're into whatever, art. That's just the way you're wired. No luck, knowledge, and personality wins every time. I know a lot of, Warren, I will argue with you on that I know a lot of people who are struggling to get anywhere on YouTube who have both knowledge and personality. There is a huge luck factor involved in this. Otherwise, you would see a hell of a lot more people doing something like this for a living. Luck is absolutely a factor. Do I code? Not really. Jay, why does MS hate PC gaming? Things in the OS has been broken for so long. Forced VSync, resource hogging, process when gaming. Sigvard Johan Lone Helgmas, whatever your name is, that, you know, you can't take that problem and then just deduce it down to Microsoft hates gaming. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Microsoft is not optimizing for gaming. They are not going around checking code and stuff to fix it for gaming because gaming is not their focus. Gaming, the amount of people that are actually gaming on a PC versus the amount of PCs in the world that are performing business, I think you'd be surprised at what those numbers are and how small and insignificant the gaming community truly is to Microsoft when it comes to the amount of systems that are out there running in a professional environment. And that's not their focus, and it's not going to be, I don't think. Not with the changes they made over the last couple of years. Doesn't mean they hate gaming. It's just a reallocation of resources to where they make their money. It's called business. What's going to be my next addition to my 370Z? My ass in the driver's seat. You like that?
It's pretty good.
Can you recommend a CPU for your PC? Intel Celeron, baby. Jay, what do you think about an i5-2400? Whatever. I think it's a computer and a GPU. That's what I think. Nvidia ever going to support FreeSync since it's an option, open standard, or stay proprietary? I think you know the answer to that. Okay, Edgar Hernandez says, my daily workload is 75% gaming and 25% video rendering. Would you get the 8900K or the 1900X and why? 8900K, huh? That's not out yet. That's supposed to be the 8-core, right? I don't think we have any information on that. Let me see. Through Z390 predictions, i7 8900K, 8-core 16-thread, i5 80. Okay, so we're talking rumors here. I'm not gonna even answer that question. Rumor has it you also have a thing for astronomy. Do you? I used to when I was younger. I used to love stargazing and telescopes and going to the observatories and stuff like that. Not anymore. I mean, nobody got time for that, unfortunately. Thanks, at least you replied. Jay has not. Ah, see, I just replied to you. Hey, top 10 union. There are currently 2,173 people in here. There are currently chat messages coming in at a rate of about 22 chat messages per second. If you think for 1 second I'm going to sit here and read every single one of them and just happen to see yours, then the odds are already against you. But then for you to go as far as to think that maybe I'm ignoring you, yeah, you can GTFO, just saying. What are your hobbies other than the obvious? What's the obvious?
Computers and cars.
Computers and cars?
And bicycling.
Computers and cars, weightlifting, riding my bike, hanging out with my family, AV. I'm getting back into AV big time, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, the sound system upstairs now. I don't know if you guys know this. So when I did the Atmos soundbar, so I've got a Sonos system throughout the house. When I did that video back in like 2015, then a lot of people really got in an uproar over like, why do you have a soundbar? Why do you have a soundbar? You guys ready for this? I have a soundbar on this computer right here. Look, my sound system on this computer is a soundbar. Would you look at that? So get triggered. Anyway, when I did the Sonos video, you chuckled. Mm-hmm. Nick loves it when I get savage. Anyway, when I did the Sonos video, the most common was like, soundbar, stupid soundbar. So then I did the LG Atmos enabled soundbar like last month. And once again, there is a soundbar. You just need a soundbar. It's a soundbar. Get a good sound system. So finally I said, screw it. And I went and I bought my own 7.1. Technically it's 7.2.2, but whatever, I digress. DevTech 9000 series, center channel, Supercube, subwoofer, floor standing 9000 series speakers, side speakers, rear speakers, the whole thing. I haven't added the Atmos yet because I actually want to add those to the ceiling properly and not bounce them off the ceiling, because I was like, fine, I have not had a high-end sound system like ever in my life. I've never had a high-end sound system. So I finally was like, you know what, screw it. I love movies and stuff, 4K. I've got my LG OLEDs and stuff. I just went balls out, bought myself an early Christmas present, spent thousands of dollars on this sound system. And now anytime anyone comes to the house...
And the very late night waiting for it.
Very late night waiting for it. Oh, God, yeah. So when... anytime anyone comes over, I drag them upstairs and I make them sit down and like listen to action scenes in movies and stuff. And everyone's just like, oh my God, this sounds so good. So I've been getting into AV and I've been considering doing a video about my DevTech setup. But I kind of don't want to at the same time because I sort of just don't want to, I guess I don't want to be a part of the audiophile community, if that makes sense. Can I be an audio enthusiast? Can I be middle ground? Is that okay? Can I be between the layman and an audiophile and just be an audio enthusiast and be like, I like good sound? Can that be a thing? I wanted to do a video about it, but not until I get the overhead Atmos speakers installed, which I will do myself. Just like, how many people here watched that live Twitter feed I did when I was wall mounting the TV and snaking the low volt behind the wall and drilling out the wall and showing all that stuff? I thought that was a neat Twitter feed, but that was when I did it. And I just haven't decided yet how much of that I want to share with the audience. Because if you guys haven't noticed, the audience tends to take a lot of things that I love and just destroy it. It's like the Joker. The YouTube audience is basically the Joker and I'm Batman. They just want to see the world burn. Yeah. So there's that. The thing is, no matter what I buy, no matter what I show, someone's going to be like, you did it wrong. Or you got the wrong thing. Or that sucks. And they seem to forget that their opinion truly doesn't mean anything. My opinion by itself doesn't mean anything. Why do people forget that one person's opinion doesn't mean anything? Jeez. Jay, if you ever had a chance, would you trade your Nissan 370Z for a Nissan Skyline? Which Skyline? That's a fair question, right, Nick?
Yeah. Very
R34? Absolutely. I wouldn't even hesitate. Even if the R34 needed a little work. I say a little work because if it needed a lot of work, then that will get really expensive fast.
New turbos, though.
Look, the moment the R34s are legally available in California, you know I'm going to be looking, right?
Yeah.
And so will everyone else. And what do you think is going to happen to the price of them? They'll cost as much as an R35 new.
Yeah.
Although, in January, I get to go check out a Mines R32. Jay, do you use a Mac for anything? Surfing the web. And it's an i7 Mac too. R34, yes. R33 is the sexy. R34 is the sexiest in my opinion.
I second that one.
Do I love living in SoCal? I love parts of living in California, but I'm not a fan of the California's cost of living and the government here. Emissions is because they adopt CARB standards, which are terrible. And I also like my guns. I don't care if you like guns or not. Your opinion doesn't matter. Remember, I just said that. California hates everything I love. So energy costs are really high too. Doorstop. What's a doorstop? Why do motherboards have minimum DDR4 2660 of RAM when there's 4000? Because, as I've explained, motherboards will automatically run the base clock of a memory module, which for DDR4 for the longest time had been 2133, and now it's 2400 or 2666 some will run at. Any advertised speed you see on a stick of memory, like DDR4 4000 or whatever, is the XMP profile, or extreme memory profile, which is an overclock. I've said that so many times. I've even made videos about it. I feel like that's the most non-understood part of PC building for beginners, is that the speed you see on a memory stick is not the speed it boots at. How do I make a video that people will see? The problem is viewership on YouTube sucks lately. It's down. It's down a lot. Ever since the new algorithm, videos don't get suggested as much. People don't, I don't know, the search just doesn't work as well. Everything's down for everybody. And now there's like videos I want people to see, not because of views and because of ad revenue. It's because of the repetitive questions of things I'm trying to answer, but nobody's seeing it. Why so serious today? I missed something? Am I being more serious than normal, Nick?
No,
Yeah. Live J is well, it's a live J. Do you even lift, bro? Is now do you even mine, bro? Huh. You know what's funny is at the gym there was a bunch of knuckleheads, right? Just call them big bruiser knuckleheads, talking about cryptocurrency mining. It was actually kind of funny. But all their information that they were talking about was like incorrectly regurgitating information they heard on NBC Financial or MSN Financial, whatever it is. So they were like using all the terminology wrong and stuff, which was hilarious because they were all talking about how they're going to be rich because they were going to buy some. Can I explain adaptive voltage offset? Absolutely. Well, adaptive means it changes, right? It means it goes up and down based on demand and need. Offset is either, it could be a positive or a negative offset. That just means a number to add or subtract from the baseline. So if your baseline is a 1.15 volt, okay, the adaptive means it's going to go up or down based on load. So base voltage, when at normal clock speed or whatever, could be like 0.8, 0.9 volts, 1.1 volts. Then when it goes under load, it's going to ramp up to, normally it's got a voltage curve, right? And that's based on factory settings. And if you try and overclock, then you need more voltage. But adaptive is just the same. When it goes under load, the voltage will ramp up. Then you get into what's called V-droop. That's a whole different subject. We'll talk about that later. Adaptive simply says add or subtract. If you put a plus sign, it's add this many millivolts to whatever the voltage curve is. So if it's 1 volt at stock, and then when it goes into turbo mode, we're talking about Intel, right? Same thing applies to AMD. Let's just use Intel. If turbo mode goes to 1.2 volts, and you add an offset of 250 millivolts, then it would actually go up to the 1.2 plus your offset that you supply, which then would make it 1.2250 volts. Or if you add an offset of 500 millivolts, then it would add 500 to the 1.2, or in this case, 1.25. So that's how offset works. Adaptive offset. Adaptive offset just means it allows the voltage to ramp back down, whereas if you put in a static or a specific number, that voltage is applied at all times, every time, regardless of what the CPU is running at. Also too, I run all my systems at max clock speed 100% of the day, every day. This system right now is sitting at 4.6 gigahertz with all voltage, whether it's sitting here idle or whether it is under load, because apparently I like to abuse my hardware. It's something I've always done, and I've not really noticed any terrible things in the years I've been doing it, but even when I'm done with this stream and I'm no longer rendering anything and I'm sitting at the desktop, it will still run 4.6 gigahertz at 1.45 volts. But on water, I can tend to get away with that. All right, so Nick, may I ask why I got timeout?
Because I kept asking the same question over and over.
Oh, Abdul, he timed you out because you kept spamming the same question. What would you say is a dangerous voltage for 4790K at 4.9 gigahertz? 4.9 is already a big overclock for a 4790. I'd probably run okay, so the mainstream stuff, not including the 8700K and the new stuff. 7700K and down, I never recommended more than 1.35 volts, even on water, for 24/7 overclock. You could go farther for like benchmarking runs and stuff like that, but I just tend to stick around 1.35. I will run as high as 1.45 volts on the new stuff, like the new i9s and whatnot. I think I said this one's running 1.45. I think I was wrong, actually. I believe it's actually running, let's turn on hardware monitor here. I think I'm actually running 1.35. I can't recall. Let me see here if hardware monitor will show me. My current voltage is running... What? Oh, that's CPU. Hold on. That's not CPU, I mean. Vid. Really? That can't be right. I don't think it's reporting properly. It says I'm running at 1.2 volts. 1.2 volts at 4.6. That wouldn't be stable. But my temperatures right now are sitting at like 48 C, 50 C. Of course, I'm on water. So, yeah, I know the voltage is higher than that. I just don't think that hardware monitor is reporting properly. Jay, what's up with Tech Talk? The last one was before Thanksgiving. I already answered that. Sorry. Yo, what's up? Hey, Great Games 2004, what's up? Hey, Jay, do you read this? I just did. Now you just wasted your comment. Did you notice better airflow with modded front panel on the Fantex Enthoo Evolve? Indeed, we did. The problem was that loop was experiencing other problems, other issues with it, which was allowing it to get warm. The Titan X Maxwell GPUs were reaching like, what, 65C? Nick? That PC you used to have, the Evolve? What were the GPUs getting at, like 65C?
Really, yeah, close.
On water.
Hotter than that, yeah.
On water. So there was something else going on with that. It's one of the reasons why we tore it down. The Titan X Maxwell cards, although not a slouch, it was just time to retire them. So, Jay, with net neutrality repealed, any concerns? Oh, God. Should I talk about this? Fine. Let's talk about this. There's those that want to turn net neutrality into a partisan issue. And what that means is that Republicans and Democrats have their views of whatever. And it's partisanship. You have what's called voting down the party line, which means that you're going to vote whatever the Republican Party or the Democrat Party suggests that their memberships vote. Okay, we'll call them memberships because I believe they're like little exclusive clubs with like jackets and shit, right? So a lot of people thought this was a partisan issue. And the government, first of all, doesn't have the slightest clue as to how the internet works. My personal thought on this was the internet was fine prior to net neutrality in the sense of I didn't feel like I was being throttled. I never noticed any problems with Netflix. I never noticed any problems with YouTube or any of that. Net neutrality happened and I didn't notice it. Even though I was working in IT at the time, I didn't notice that net neutrality became a thing because I didn't follow the politics and I didn't really care, if you want to know the truth. When net neutrality repeal became a conversation, I believe two reasons it became a conversation. One, everyone in the world pretty much hates Donald Trump. Okay, and if you don't hate him, there's probably something you don't like about him. And because Agent Pie or whatever his name is that his name? Agent Pie? Agent Pie, whatever. Agent Pie in the face, dork face, dick face, whatever his name is. Because he was appointed by Trump, it became forth like in the spotlight about net neutrality and turned into a political issue once again. Because removing net neutrality, I feel, was less about the protection of the internet, like they say, and it was more about repealing something Obama did. And I feel like none of the politicians involved in this actually understood what was going on. Now, I don't believe that the ISPs are going to immediately go out there and start to go out there and do a tiered internet system where suddenly it's like, oh, you can connect to the streamer bundle, get access to Amazon streaming and Netflix and Twitch and YouTube and all of that. Or get your sports bundle, connect to NFL, connect to NBA. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't feel they're going to do that because they didn't do it before when they could. The question is, people are concerned now about whether or not the fact that they can, will they? I don't think they will. I think ISPs are smart enough and saw the backlash, although right now in the United States we lack competition and choice with our ISPs. That's a whole nother issue. That's something a lot of foreigners have a hard time understanding here in the US, is that we don't have necessarily broadband options in each area because each city and municipality has a monopoly, and that's what I want to see broken. And technically the repeal of net neutrality is supposed to help break that monopoly. Don't know if it's ever going to happen. But I think the ISPs are smart enough to see that there is a huge uprising here. Now, companies like Comcast, shady as fuck. They even removed all of their language that they ever had supporting net neutrality. Now that it's gone, who knows? Bottom line, what this ramble was all about, I didn't notice a problem personally for me prior to net neutrality. I don't think I'm going to notice anything immediately change post net neutrality repeal. I'd love to see more ISP options in my neighborhood, honestly. I really would, but that's not the case. You know what the reality is? All of you with a smartphone in the United States, you're already paying for that tiered setup, by the way. Is unlimited data really unlimited? Can they throttle you if you go over your 20 gigabytes of unlimited data? I'd like to see something like what net neutrality was trying to protect be applied to mobile data plans. Because for a lot of people, that is their only source of the internet. There's a lot of people that use their mobile phone and their hotspot as their main connection at home and this and that. I'd like to see that applied. But I feel like we live in this crazy time right now where technology is advancing faster than the old white-haired men up in Capitol Hill have a clue about what's going on. And they're the ones making the decisions, and that's my problem. End rant. Jay, can I please be unblocked on Twitter? You unblocked me over a fair opinion. First of all, Fish E. Rooster, I have no idea who you are. Second of all, if I blocked you up there, it was for a reason, and I'm not going to unblock you. And by the way, a fair opinion, if delivered like an asshole, gets you treated like an asshole. Keep that in mind. 20 gigabytes before throttling. Yeah, I see. I have Verizon. I think it's 26 or 24 gigabytes of my unlimited data. Once I go over 24 gigs, then they can throttle me. Now, I've gone way over that already in 1 month, and I didn't notice a slowdown. But the point is, it's in the literature that they can. So there's that. You didn't notice throttling because you have a shit slow connection. Bitch, I got fiber. Shut the fuck up. The hell's this guy? Who's this guy? Who let him in here? You believe this guy? Vinny has to break his knees. Break his knees. Yeah, shit, dude. I got fiber, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Jays, what's your take on Bitcoin? Oh, God, I already talked about that. What's my favorite fast food? Chick-fil-A. Did you know they have a 30-piece nugget? Yes. I'm not talking to you. I know you know. Oh, okay. You bought 2 of them one time.
Don't touch me.
Jay, what's my favorite food? Italian. Let's see here. I recently got into video creation and animation. What are you laughing at?
I got the circle game. I got everybody on stream.
You got what?
I got everybody on stream. The circle game.
Oh. I didn't see it. I'm not looking at my camera.
Okay.
I'm not looking at the stream. It's over there in that monitor. Look at that sexy beast coming into frame. Okay, I recently got into video creation animation. I have an i5 2500K. Should I upgrade my CPU yet, or is it still quite relevant? I would like to see a video what's still relevant in late 2017. My answer to that's the same that I tell everyone about whether or not it's time to upgrade. If it's taking too long for your computer to do the tasks you want them to do, then it's time to upgrade. I don't need to go through and test all of the CPUs for you to learn whether or not it's time to upgrade. If you push go on something and you're like, God, this is taking forever, just know any upgrade you make past that point is going to reduce that time. If you want it to be faster, then you shall pony up the money and get yourself a faster computer. You can hear him. Listen. Sometimes I wonder if that's actually in my head or if it's really happening. Like the music. What are your thoughts on the BitPhoenix Portal chassis? Ooh, I think it's neat. I think it's a neat looking chassis, but if I'm not mistaken, doesn't it have airflow issues? SLI chicken nuggets.
Oh yeah.
Nick said, hell yeah. Thanks again for the help. Have a Merry Christmas. He's thanking you, Nick. Robert Rogers.
Welcome. Merry Christmas.
Can you explain how overclocking works with turbo boosts? If I set a manual overclock, will it still use the CPU's idle clock until needed? That is understanding how C-states work. And yes, you can actually, when you're overclocking both AMD and Intel now, you can set your standard clock and you can set your turbo clock. I personally set a single clock as my max speed for everything all the time, 24/7. All my computers are this way. All my computers have been this way. It's just the way I do. Jay, what are your thoughts on AMD refreshing Vega this next go-around instead of releasing a new product line? They could barely afford Vega as it was. How are they supposed to release a new product line? They're invested in Vega. They were invested in Vega when they invested in Fury. I mean, they have gone down that rabbit hole. They cannot just redesign everything. The question is going to be, what is Radeon Graphics going to do now that Raja Katori is gone? And he's working for Intel now. So, yeah. What are my thoughts on the View Fluid? Is it still good to use? Interesting question. So, the View Fluid, we have a couple of systems here that it's been reacting with poorly, and I don't mean like reacting and changing color or anything like that. It's just that it's not maintaining its luster. It's not clogging anything, but I talked to Primo Chill about it, and a couple of people have messaged. I say a couple people. A few people have tweeted me, showing me pictures where they've had some issues where like part of that pearlescent stuff is like sticking to the tubes or whatever. The only thing I can suggest with that is contact Primo Chill. Like with any new fluid, they do their testing with dozens of systems and different components and these rads and these blocks and stuff. The problem is when you send it out to thousands of people, that's a huge sample versus what you can do in-house. And then inevitably incompatibilities pop up. So it's one of those things where like I haven't done any updates about it yet because we're still trying to get down to the science about what's going on over here. And that's where we are with that. It seems to be specific with color, just like the Mayhem's thing. It's specific to color, where Mayhem's reds, anything with a red in it, orange, red, purple, yellow even, was having problems, but green was perfectly fine. Like Skunkworks' green has held up. It's still as green as the day I put it in there. They say the view says, or Primo Chill says the green view is really strong. So I'm going to be testing that because I have systems I'm working on now. And now I'm like, okay, what fluids do I want to use? But it's still one of those things where like, I'm almost starting to wonder if the smoothness of the PETG lines is something to do with it. Because one of the systems like this one right here, you're not really be able to see it. It just sort of, you can really tell. There you go. You can see the lines right there. It just looks like kind of a clear blue, right? You can't really see the reservoir there, but you can see it's just kind of a clear blue. Nothing's clogged up. Flow is fine. But if you look at the Threadripper build, which you can't see because it's all the way down there in the studio, the Threadripper build with the silver is still as vibrant and shimmery as ever. But remember, that's the one where I built the tubing with all those crazy bends and all of those like twists and stuff in there. And I'm wondering if the turbulence in the tubing has something to do with keeping it more active. I don't know. I'm not a chemist. I don't pretend to know. So yeah, it's one of those things where definitely keep your ear to the ground. Listen to what Primo Chill has to say. If for some reason you're having problems with yours, then definitely contact them. That's all I can say. They're trying to determine a correlation between specific products that might be having a problem. And the issue here, and I can tell you this from other companies I've talked to, is you could take 10 different radiators, like from AlphaCool, EK, whatever. You can take 10 of them from the same company, but produced at different times, test the metal, and get different qualities of metal, even though they're the exact same radiator. It has to do with the manufacturing and whatever alloy they used at that time or whatever quality of copper they used. And there might be variances between copper sourcing because they don't always come from the same manufacturer. Like you might get copper from this guy and you might get copper from this guy. And although they're graded the same, they might be inconsistencies there. That's the problem with water cooling as a whole and all these crazy fluids. Ahmed Syed says, help please. I'm dreaming to have a high-end PC, but I can't buy it because it's too much expensive in my country. Help please. Do you think that your situation makes you more worthy of just being sent a computer than someone else that lives in a country where it's too expensive? I don't beg. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't beg. Definitely going to go with Primo Chill View when they get it sorted out. Now, I've actually been having ongoing conversation with them as recent as last night even about this because I told them, I was like, guys, I don't want to have a repeat of like the Mayhem's thing. I don't want to deal with fluids. I don't want to deal with that crap. I don't want to have people come at me and be like, Jay, you said this is good stuff and it's not working well in my system. I'm smart enough to know that not all fluids work in every single system. I mean, especially when they're mixed fluids. But what they can promise me is that it has been a very low sampling of people with problems. The difference is I have my own issue that crept up. And the thing was, like, once it started to kind of lose that shimmer effect, it happened quickly, like really quickly. It was just one day I'm like, it doesn't look as thick as it used to. And then one day it was just like, where did it go? So it happens very quickly. Question, what are your thoughts on AMD's new 7 nanometer tech coming next year? Have not investigated it. I have no opinion on it yet. Look, a Jay's video. No, it's just a Jay's stream. How long have we been streaming for? An hour and 10? Yeah, that's about right. We'll go for about another 20 minutes here, guys. AK says, love your channel. Keep up the excellent work. Thank you, sir. Jay, when will Post Malone's video be done? You know what, Joe Doe? I'm going to do this just because I can, because I've already answered this question a bajillion times. I'm afraid I have a limited SwiftTech Apogee SKF. There's no way in hell I'd let something with a serial number of 17 get Primo Chill pumped through it. Then your best bet's probably going to be distilled water with a kill coil. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with distilled water. It's just the idea is having, you know, anti-corrosives and all that stuff in there. But you know what, man? I feel you. I really, really do. There's nothing wrong with distilled water and a kill coil and just colored dye if you want it to look colored, and know that you're going to be good. Keep an eye on your loop and you're fine. You will never hear me say, don't use water, use this blah, blah, blah coolant. Autonomous chairs any good? They're comfy. They just have a little part to keep popping off. If you look right there where my finger is, that's like where there's a hinge, and there's like a chrome plated little cap that's supposed to go on there. They just randomly fall off. It's really annoying. We'll be sitting here. Nick will tell you this is true. We'll just be sitting here, not moving. Nothing is moving.
And they just pop out.
And they fall out. And like not just fall off. They'll pop out under force. Or this headrest will be up like that, and then we'll just be doing our thing, and then it will just randomly like fall down. So I guess you get what you pay for. They're not incredibly expensive chairs. It's just they're not necessarily little things like that. Have you ever been to Europe? Sadly, I have not. Losing virginity story? Sure, I'll tell that one as soon as I end the stream. I've had Mayhem's Blue for 2 years now and no issues. Yeah, I also have had Blue running now in that glass build. You guys remember the Define Nano S build that I did with the glass tubing? And I mixed the blue to match the Fractal Design blue. That system is still together, and that coolant is still in there. And although it doesn't run hardly at all, it will settle, it will fall out, right? In the reservoir, you'll see it goes from clear down to like a thicker blue, but it's just like the nano's definitely fallen out. As soon as I start the system, it just remixes and it looks as good as can be. The green in Skunkworks doesn't fall out though. Like it doesn't fall out at all. Like Skunkworks will go a week without starting at times. And instead of getting like that little thin film on top or where it looks kind of clear on top, the green doesn't fall at all. So the color definitely has an effect on the fluid. Any thoughts on EK Waterblock letting go of a lot of their upper management? I've worked with Mark a bit and thought he was a hell of a guy. Brian Spath. I don't know what information you have, Brian, but it's my understanding, and you're speaking of Mark Tanko, yes, great guy, I worked with him quite a bit, is they weren't let go as much as they all sort of decided to go at the same time. Now, Eddie's running the company again. Eddie, E for the EK is Eddie. He's running the company again. He's a young guy. He's in his early 30s. I was concerned because, I mean, that never looks good when your CEO, your COO, and your CTO all leave at the same time. It seems like either two things are happening. One, there's a hostile takeover happening, or two, they're leaving to start their own company. I've been assured they're not leaving to start their own company, so time will tell. Still using EK products moving forward. I just hope they don't make any sort of manufacturing changes that would lead to lower quality parts. I hope that doesn't happen. Has my ad rev been affected at all, up or down? I have been pretty much 100% unaffected by Adpocalypse. So, and I have not had a single video like deemed non-advertiser friendly. And what's funny about that is I probably dropped the most F-bombs and stuff out of all the tech guys, and almost all the other tech guys have gotten demonetized at least once. So I don't know. Because I keep it too real. YouTube be like, oh, this guy's real. He'll call us out. We don't want to do that. EK Phoenix is amazing. I have not gotten to play with a Phoenix yet. They went to Corsair. I don't know if that's true or not. Like I said, I don't know. I have not talked to them since their departure email. 2 are working at Corsair. Okay, well, then I'll say 2 are. I don't know. Question. You are known for being a water cooling master. No, not really. But anyway, when are you going to do full glass build with Mayhem's 90-degree and straight 16mm stuff? That would be upping your mate. I've already done a glass build. Do you understand my frustration when somebody tells me I should do something and step up my game and this and that, when they suggest that I do something that I've already done? The glass I used even was the Mayhem's tubing. Ay. I hope you guys understand. Sometimes it takes a moment to just kind of like, okay, here we go. We're reset. Have you done a Christmas fractal design advert yet? No, unfortunately, we're not doing a Christmas advert this year. There was just too many things going on and launches and stuff to do one. But we are going to be doing an advert this month. It's not a Christmas one. Must have missed it. Okay, if you want to see the glass build, you've got to look on my channel, click the little magnifying glass, the little search button, and you have to, and no, I'm not bending glass. I don't bend glass. I use fittings to do the bends, but it's glass tubing, which I cut. And everyone told me I was doing it wrong because I was going to inhale glass and I was going to die, but whatever. Hold on. G-Style says I'm kind of wow, you're kind of a dick to your viewers. No, I'm just a dick to you, asshole. Here, you're gone. There. How's that? So anyway, look up the Define Nano S build on my channel and you'll see the glass stuff. Don't let the bastards get me down. He's not a bastard. It's one of those things where like, it's super frustrating when someone suggests you do something that you've already done. Or whatever. I've got nearly 1,000 videos. I don't expect that everyone saw them. Okay, so here's my personal mentality. And I'm a subscriber to channels that I like. And before I ever suggest that someone do something, I use the search function. I feel like it's kind of like any longtime forum user. If you've been in a forum long enough and you'll see this guy that comes around and asks a question that's been asked 18 times in the last week and he still asked it again because it's obvious he didn't search. It's kind of like that. You know the pain. Let's see here. Jay, why didn't you review any Be Quiet products yet? Lack of interest or contact with the brand? Would be awesome to see water cooling build in a Dark Base Pro 900. No, I know them. Roxy and all of them. I'm supposed to meet up with them at CES, actually. I met up with them also at Computex. I just don't think we've had any projects really that have aligned. The problem is I'm one guy. I'm one channel. And I can't cover every single product on the market. I'd like to, of course. But I can't cover every single product on the market. I'm not Linus Media Group that has, 12 editors or whatever it is, and they're doing all of the testing and stuff, and then you can diversify, 12 different paths of research at one time. I can't do that. I'm one guy. That still has to run the business. So let's talk about 2017 here. Let's end on this. 2017. In fact, Nick, I think you should slide over here for this, because you're a part of 2017, obviously. You were a part of it in some way. You can wield your banhammer more later, okay? He's just over there like wanting to.
Building up numbers.
You're like hitting like the Gopher game over at Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Yep.
You get closer to the mic.
Oh.
You don't talk loud enough as it is.
Shut up.
Here, let's see if we can get this so that it's not blocking your face. There, scoot over. Okay. I'm going to make a better class when you. Okay, so let clone Jay. 2017 was an interesting year for me because 2016 was my first year. That looked very inappropriate.
What did?
That you did with your hand back there when you were. See, when I was doing the banhammer, I was doing it like a handle. Yeah, handles don't go like this.
Oh.
So when it just played back right now, it looked very inappropriate.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So 2017, I hired you technically in February as a part-time contractor.
Yeah.
And you were only working one day a year. Or one day a year. You still only work one day a year. But anyway.
Oh my God.
You were working Fridays for me. Just basically doing whatever. Usually inventory, cleanup, stuff like that, right?
Small stuff.
It's because I wanted to start getting you exposed to the environment, which I don't think it did a very good job of truly exposing you to the environment.
Well, the environment got bigger.
Is that a fat joke?
No. if you want to take it that way, I guess you could take it that way, but I didn't mean it like that.
When I went to work for myself, and I did that video in June of 2016 saying it's been a year since I quit my job. That first year is the scariest year because you're like, all right, everything is on me now. I've got a wife, 2 kids, everything's on me. Getting an employee was not in the cards because it was like, I need to make sure my own family's settled before I even consider taking on the responsibility of like, can you make your car payments and stuff based on the decisions I make with the business?
Yeah.
So we fast forward and it's like time to get out of the house, right? The baby's no longer a baby. She's loud. I can't record. I'm out of space. We had a storage unit that was full. We had a garage that was full. We had an office that was full. Hallways that were full.
It kept getting smaller, like Tetris when you run out of...
It was like the trash compactor scene in Star Wars is what it felt like to me.
Okay.
Okay. And no matter what I put up to like wedge it, it just kept smashing. Okay. That's what it felt like to me. And so I decided, okay, I need help with this. So the first step was I hired you as a part-time contractor because you were still going to school full-time.
Yeah.
Then it was like, I need a studio. So we found this place and brought you on right around the same time. So I moved in here March 10th of this year. And at that point I went, okay, here's my philosophy for 2017. I'm going to take the profits above and beyond what I need to live and survive, and I'm going to reinvest them into this place. So that's why the company grew, the equipment grew, the space grew, and you went full-time May 1st.
Yeah.
That was a huge jump because I didn't want a team, but I needed a team. Fast forward a few months later, we brought on Brian. And Brian has been a huge instrument. I don't want to say he's been a huge tool because he's not. He's too nice. I don't want to call him a tool. Brian has been instrumental in bringing in more business, lots of business.
Yeah.
And it's been hard because we're back at that point where we're like, okay, now we're a team of 3, and we still can't get it all done. So 2017 for me was supposed to be a year where all the profit was spent back in growth of the company, and it did, but it still became profitable. So what's your review of 2017, and what do you think 2018 should be?
My review? Well, I think 2017, at least for here, was awesome. Just
Hold on. Cantero said this is boring, so we'll fix that for him.
Bye.
There you go. Bye-bye, bitch. Okay.
Well, 2017 was kind of scary for me too because I jumped in like, okay, we're gonna go, like I'm jumping on board with you, but I didn't know where it's gonna go from there.
You also never had like a full-time job before.
Yeah, no, this was like the first real 9 to 5 as we call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's still
9 to 5. Sometimes it's much more than that. But
yeah.
Sometimes it's less than that.
But when we go more, sometimes it's fun. It's like the
like today
or Symbiote.
Symbiote. That was like a 20-hour day.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, it was cool. I learned a lot. I'm still learning. I can't say that I'm not learning every day because I'm always learning every day. It sometimes just doesn't show because, yeah.
You know what I would love right now?
Just to like show all the bloopers?
No.
Oh.
No. I would love for you to tell the audience what it's like to work for me.
You know, it's a really strange...
But can you pretend like I'm not here?
It's a strange dynamic.
There's nothing you're going to tell me that will offend me. Or nothing you could tell them that will offend me. Okay, I'm not here.
Well, it's a strange dynamic just because he's a very, really, really good friend, but at the same time, he's my boss. So...
We talked about that.
Yeah.
So I was your boss.
Yeah,
for
was
the
my
longest
boss.
time.
Yeah. We're changing the dynamic again. So it was weird of having to change modes, but now we're getting into like, okay, we're just gonna keep the friendship thing and ignore the boss part. But at the same time, I have to realize this is livelihood at stake, so I still have to take it like a certain level of seriousness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're always serious. But I mean, like, so for the record, like, I'm not his boss anymore. He doesn't report to me. Look at all this dust is bothering me. Look at this. Oh my God, we need to clean this. Okay, anyway.
It's just saran wrap everything.
So technically he reports to Brian now.
Yeah.
And I think you like that better.
I don't know yet. I haven't.
You will. You'll like it better.
I haven't had the Brian experience yet.
Okay, so what kind of boss am I?
There's ups and downs.
We're actually having a live streamed year-end review. This might be against the corporate ethical standards.
Okay.
I don't know.
There's honestly ups and downs because at least my old experience was my boss from the other place, and you're a lot better than that. I'll give you that much. Like,
Really?
You're seriously by far.
Because I'm an asshole, but I know he was an asshole too. So.
But you're more blunt rather than he tried to avoid some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you attack it, point on, and we get it to the table, we get it over with. It isn't like, okay, we'll deal with that later, and then just keep pushing it back, and nothing ever happened, kind of deal. So I appreciate that we were getting stuff brought to the table as soon as it is, even though it was mainly you who initiated, because, you know, I'm really shy of bringing stuff up like that.
Yeah. But why do you have to be so shy?
I don't know, that's just my manners.
How many times would you say I've said you have to man up this year? And what I mean by that is, like, when you have an opinion or you have an idea or something, you back down too much, like too easily. Like if you bring up an idea and I'm not feeling it at first and I'm kind of like, no, I don't think so. You're like, oh, okay. But I keep telling you, like, no, you need to just, like, if you have an opinion or a thought, like, you need to fight for that, right? You need to just be like, okay, no, you're going to hear me out and you're going to hear me before you turn this down. You need to be better at that. And I think you're getting a little better at that, but you still are like, oh, okay, like too easily.
Yeah, I kind of tend to avoid the conflict section. That's why if it gets knocked down, I just leave it, which we're getting there. I'm turning it over.
Get knocked down, just leave
Can
it.
you just, like...
These are your ideas, and then they go like that. But you're supposed to push it back up and be like, no.
Like fighting against... Yeah.
And then I'll be like, why are you fighting me?
Then at that point...
I'll be like, who's the boss? You'll be like, Brian.
Yeah.
We're already talking about 2018 needing a bigger place because we've I don't know, are the lights? I don't know. Can they see down there? Let's see.
Lights are off.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
It looks crowded though.
We are out of space, and of course everyone's going to be like, "Well, then just do giveaways. Just give away stuff." That doesn't solve our problem.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
LOL. Quit agreeing with him. Yeah, pretty much.
Dick.
No, yes, men's. Be like, man's no newt hoot.
Oh, man's not hot. Oh. It's a meme.
Oh, God, okay.
Man's not hot.
Just stop worrying that you're wrong. I think Cell's right on that one.
I have to be less afraid of making mistakes.
Your ideas need to be like playing Get Over It. I don't think.
Wait. Let's block that. Let's help them out. Right there.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh. Wrecked Gaming just got wrecked. Nick is the man, and you know it. It's surprised how many people on here have no idea who Brian is. And my answer is going to be the same as always. Y'all should follow on social media. You'll know so much more about what we're doing if you follow. And you're like, no, Twitter's stupid. Then just be like, then deal with the fact that you're ignorant to what we're talking about.
Well, there's Instagram too, but we don't really talk.
My Instagram is very whatever. I think people know that by now, right?
Yeah.
Jay, earlier you said we're into delidding. Oh, we're not talking about that right now. We're getting ready to end this. So explain why you are out of space, please.
Okay, here's
because
a box.
We keep what's called an inventory.
Yeah, here's the box, and this is what happens like every month. We get more stuff to put.
They can't see down there.
We get more stuff to put in the box. So the box keeps getting filled with stuff. We don't have anywhere to put the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we keep an inventory. And it baffles me how many people don't understand why we need this inventory to be able to do the videos that we do. Like, I think a lot of these people think we should keep one motherboard, one CPU, one GPU. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
That's why I just said we're getting ready to do kind of a purge of the older stuff. But the thing is, we don't have that much older stuff. A lot of what you see here, we acquired in the last 18 months.
Yeah, this year alone.
Yes. And so that's why it's important that we have these parts that we can go back and do revisions and revisiting and doing. Like we still can't even do our bare minimum spec series like we want without having to buy stuff because we don't have the old stuff.
Yeah, we can't.
So if I take the stuff we have now and just get rid of it, like people out there who are clueless think we should do, we still wouldn't be able to do the damn series. Okay, here's one. Geared Inc. says, how do you stay motivated to keep the creative juices going for videos? I think that's a good one. Because, I mean, we are nearly 1,000 videos in, right? I say we, even though you weren't a part of the first 4 years, it's still a we. But we're about 1,000 videos in. And I look back at that and I go, it doesn't feel like 1,000 videos. I mean, it's been 5 years, over 5 years. But I don't know. The landscape is always evolving. New stuff is always coming out. Old stuff is fun to revisit.
Yeah.
What is hard is the repetitive part. A new GPU comes out, the audience goes, I can't wait to see this new GPU. This is awesome. And I go,
oh no,
I've got 9 of them coming. Oh
yeah,
my God.
It's like, oh, how much more benchmarking?
How much more benchmarking? How repetitive is this going to be? How do I make
debugging?
But not only that, it's like, how do I make a video about the 1080 Ti the 5th time and still make it interesting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the challenge. And of course, I'm sure there's folks watching this going, oh, it sounds like you have such a hard life. You don't. There is very hard aspects of this, okay? And it'd be ignorant for you to just think that we just get to play with this all day and have fun. This is business. Videos, okay. Let's talk about how we make our money. I think people have realized by now, myself, Linus, Kyle, Paul, Austin Evans, Jonathan, all of us are in the business of advertising. That is our business. We advertise. Videos are how we advertise. So videos are a medium of which we sell our business on. We keep running because we sell advertisements through our platform outside of YouTube, so that when adpocalypse and stuff happens, it doesn't affect us that much, so that we can keep the business running. My company, as far as the IRS and the corporation is concerned, is a marketing company. Videos is just how we do it. So that's how we make our money. We have to find ways to make those ads interesting, right? The fractal design ads clearly are the most interesting.
It's the most fun.
But I also turn down more advertisers than people have any idea. You've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, the back side thing, the background.
Yeah, the back end deals.
Yeah.
The back end deals. Oh. No. So speaking of the whack-a-mole thing earlier. Anyway.
Oh, jeez.
You've seen firsthand how much money we do not take, accept, or even entertain because it does not align with my mission statement of this channel and what I want to do. Yeah. If I was truly the money-grubbing shill like everyone thinks that YouTubers are,
we'd be popping out videos.
Oh my God, I'd be wearing, I would have G Fuel going right now. I mean, I'd have the whole thing, right? But I don't, because I still have standards and I still have scruples. Hopefully it comes across that way. But the point being,
I had to readjust because
I was like, you look so like proper right there.
I had like,
well, you scooted away. I didn't fart.
No, I'm like, okay, I'm right here. Yeah.
Let's see. So if Jay ever wanted his channel to get bigger and never wanted it to make more money, how is he supposed to fund the videos on Titan XPs, SLIs, etc.? Give me a break. See, again, that's part of being a product reviewer. We are fortunate to get that stuff supplied to us, usually free of cost.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's like, we've never hidden that. We've always been very upfront about that. I'm surprised how many people still think that we buy everything. We buy a lot.
Well, like
this year we bought more than any year ever.
Yeah.
But we buy a lot still. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, full EVGA builds while drinking a Monster and RGB chicken nuggets in the background.
RGB chicken nuggets sound like a great build.
Integrity, it's a thing. Thanks, guys. Some of us still have it.
It's a ting.
And it comes under question all the time. Like, people are constantly questioning our integrity, but whatever. Never lose the realness. You guys are great. I can't. It is in my DNA to be a real salty guy. A real salty guy. Real, comma, salty guy.
Or it's real salt. I mean, it's not fake salt.
Yeah. I remember old Jay. The channel was... Hold on. The channel was about... let's see if he's going to get banned or not. Oh, here we go. I remember the old Jay. The channel was about PC hardware, etc. Right now is about shit talking. Linus Tech Tips. Everything to get bigger, profit, nothing more. Please change that in the next year. Oh, you know what? Shit talking? Fuck off the RMZO, whatever your stupid name is. Okay, so can I buy your Sapphire? No, you cannot. Sitars that go back years and years? I don't know. Sitars? What is that? J-Man's hot. You damn right I'm hot. And drop it too. Jay always be the mans that take a stand and keep making good vids. There's people out there too that think they're going to stand up against me when I take a stand. You're not. You're not going to stand up against me. Notice me senpai. You spelled senpai wrong. Just wanted to point that out.
It's senpai the way he's
real salty doesn't mean being a jerk though. There's plenty of people who will mistake holding your ground or standing your ground on an opinion as salty. And those people usually are made of snowflake material. So, and remember, salt melts snow. So there you go. If you only wanted money, you could just have Tunnel Bear ads running on every video. That's not to say I wouldn't. That's not to say I wouldn't take a Tunnel Bear ad either. Why not? We're doing a VPN ad this month. Let's see. Hedge money, prime real, salty doesn't mean being a jerk though. True. Oh, it was a quote. Yeah. Okay. What happened with Tech Talk? Oh my God! Did you
It's
fart?
on break. No.
Why do I keep smelling phantom farts?
You just farted enough to like jinx yourself now.
It's like in my pores.
You're psyching yourself out.
Whatever. 2017 year of the snowflakes. God, ain't that the truth?
Does Nick like anime?
Gundams. That's about it. Thanks to your videos, they helped me build my first PC. You're very welcome. Jay, do you have a side hustle?
Side hustle? Oh. No, you don't have a side hustle.
Okay, you had to translate that one for me. Kind of like when Post Malone said, I fuck with your shit.
That was the greatest translation moment I've ever had to do.
Jay, are you taller than Linus? Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Oh, hammer.
You both suck? LOL? No, I think he's just... See, I'm not going to ban M-Coop because I honestly think he's just trying to...
Get it.
I think he's trying too hard to be noticed for the banhammer.
Oh, okay.
So I won't oblige. You're both farting? It's Y-O-U-R-E, Lance. You're... As in a contractive. You are. Not your. See, I can't own a both farting. Like your possessive,
Your.
both farting is not an object. It's hammer time.
Oh, there it
is. Geez, there we go. You know what? Here's what I'll do. Whoops, I get the right guy. I won't ban, but I will time them out. How's that?
Oh, can I go ban though?
Are you people fucking serious? Linus is 5'6", Jay is 6'4". Is Linus 5'6"? I know he's short. I just never really paid attention. Like, I didn't know what his height was. Do they use height? Do they use feet and inches in Canada? I don't think so. Pretty sure they're like centimeters. Could be wrong.
I haven't been. You've been.
I don't know. I know they use kilometers. Guys, the quality of the videos skyrocketed this year. Absolutely amazing to watch. Thank you. Get schooled. How do you read these so fast? Experience. Any update? Report on the Terry C build. What is there to report? It's been done since April.
Bro, where have you been? we're getting to the end of the year, and you've been this far out of the gap.
Yeah, I think he's. If we were in a race, he's been lapped a couple times.
Oh, no, the race is over. Everyone's left. He's still running it.
You should do, or like me. When the session ends and you just keep going. Oh man, I got a black flag or red flag at track day.
And you had a quick lesson.
I was so oblivious that the checker flag went out. They started to black flag me. I still didn't see it. Then the red flags came out, and they were practically standing out on track to make me stop. I was just really into it first session. So anyway, you should do a motor oil cooling loop in a PC or use KY jelly. See, these are the...
Just
every now and then...
Go on.
Hold on, I gotta reset my brain. It hurts.
Dude.
These are the same guys that are like, you should use semen in a loop.
Or you should water cool your car.
Oh yeah, you should water cool your car. It's like, where are you, fucking Amish?
Have I been driving an air-cooled Porsche for that long?
No, Volkswagen. You got Carmen Gia. Yeah, for no Porsche. Are you gonna be doing any more videos with Jerry anytime soon? Jerry is his own man. He is not a part of my channel other than Tech Talk. So I mean, Jerry's Jerry. He's in Seattle doing his thing. What are you looking for? What? Point to it. Oh, that really bothers you, doesn't it?
I mean,
Why do you let that bother you?
I don't know. It's just there.
But you shouldn't let it
But they're
bother
gonna
you.
spam it. It's just gonna keep like the previous one. It's just gonna keep spamming.
Fine. Jay, is there a big benefit to paying for driving classes to become a better everyday driver? If you're talking about like driver's ed, I mean, I think it's helpful to kind of know the driving laws.
Well, at least
Best practices.
At least in California, do it for the freeway stuff because they don't test for that anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so suddenly you're doing 65 and you're freaked out.
And you don't know
people
what to
like
do.
me go flying by you.
Yeah.
When I'm in my Z, I do like to play with the student drivers, though, when I see the cars.
I'm not going to lie. I do it too.
Because when there's a student driver vehicle, I don't know if it's like this in all states. I assume it is. But in California, student drivers have to be like advertising that they're a student driver. So usually it's like a big banner on the top of the car that says student driver.
Or
There's
like
like stickers on the
sticker.
trunk that says student driver.
Yeah.
And you can always tell because they're like hands at 10 and 2. And you
then-
always know it's a student when there's someone in the passenger seat.
Just watching.
Yeah. Otherwise, if there's only one person in the driver's seat, it's probably the instructor driving to pick someone up. When I'm in my car, I tend to be not nice. It's just fun to like downshift rev next to them and yeah. It gets scary.
I know the feeling.
7XL shirts, please. I think I go up to 5 or 6, man. I'm stuck with whatever the supplier can supply. As a guy who used to be a 6X myself, I know the struggles, but I can't suggest anything to you. I mean, because if I start supplying 7X too, then there's gonna be the guy that's an 8X, like, hey, 8X, please. And look, I can't make the shirts bigger. They are as big as Haynes will let them be. If New York, we have the same student driver thing. Yes, fucks with them.
Yeah. Well, they also don't teach parallel parking. That I spent 2 days learning that for the driver's test. Never had to use it.
Why does that bother you? Damn, you really are an asshole for real. I thought it was kind of a front. How does me telling you someone's word shouldn't bother you make me an asshole?
He was literally just asking a question. I mean, it wasn't a stupid question like that. But
wow. See, the guy you just white knighted for just called you stupid. Think about that. There, you're blocked too. No, I'm saying you called him stupid. He white knighted for you. You just called him stupid. He should feel stupid now.
Oh, you're making me feel stupid.
Okay. I asked you why you let someone's name calling, why you let someone's specific name calling bother you.
I just cut it off before that goes on.
Okay, but then you explained that you don't want to see it spammed, and we left it at that. He says that because I asked you why that word bothers you, he said I'm an asshole.
No, you genuinely wanted to know.
So he white knighted for you, thinking that, oh, I'm going to stand up for Nick because he's being an asshole.
It was wrong.
But basically, you said it wasn't a stupid question like you asked, right, to him. So basically, you called the white knight stupid, which I applaud you for.
It was
because he wasn't a white knight.
It was an inappropriate use of white knighting.
Yeah, nobody really cared about what he had to say. Why this QA feels so salty? P.S. Like this channel.
There we go.
Because the comments are live and we're responding to them in real time.
Yeah.
Jay and Nick, what games do you guys play? What are you playing right now?
Right now, Destiny.
Still
Destiny.
I thought it was one of those games that kind of like everyone jumped on it and then everyone kind of quit it.
Well, it is, but now I'm back to building the Gundam models as well. So if I'm
that's not a game.
I know, but that's where my time is going now.
So you're not playing any other game besides Destiny 2?
I haven't touched the computer. It's been 2 or 3 times a week now.
Oh. Well, the only game I play really is I guess, piss off the internet. That's a fun game.
Well, we haven't played WoW for a while either.
Brian wants to play tonight, but I doubt I'm going to.
We need to do Project Cars again, though.
Yeah.
Some nights.
See, so the problem with the VR rig now is every time I want to play, I'm like, okay, I got to drag the thing over, and I got to plug it in, I got the headset and plug it in, and it's like, ugh. I wish I had a thing I could just sit down on, and it was like the lights turn off, and then suddenly I'm in like a dome.
I think you need Amazon Alexa for that.
I need like Cerebro whatever it's called, from X-Men.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I need. So I just wheel my chair in there, and then suddenly I'm just like, I'm playing Project Cars. I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Lift the mic boom. It's crowding the shot. There, you happy?
Hold on. Right. Here. And then tilt this downwards.
No, it doesn't work that way. This mic is it's a condenser mic that expects you to be right on top of it. He can just deal with it. Thoughts on Windows, Mr. Headsets? What?
What?
What's Windows, Mr. Headsets? Thoughts on Windows, Mr. Headsets? Gundam building channel.
I've been watching, trust me.
Do they do like time lapses?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's stuff like that, but I'm just watching tutorials on weathering and stuff like that.
I think you guys are great. Keep it up. I enjoy the videos, and I have learned lots of things listening to you. Thank you, Ryan. Trust me, I know for every salty snowflake out there there's guys like you who are the reason why we stay salty. For good reasons, right? Acer Predator X34. I know you reviewed the none version, but I wanted to know if you would recommend. You can always tell who's typing on their phone because of autocorrect.
Autocorrect.
The X34 I had, which was like the early model, ended up getting a lot of light bleed in the corners. So I don't know if they fixed that problem, but mine like got really bad. We're using Asus panels up here now. I don't remember which. Do you remember the model number? I don't remember the model number.
P something. I don't
PQ
remember.
348?
Something like that.
I don't know. It's the 100 hertz G-Sync IPS 3440 by 1440. It's basically the Asus version of like the Predator. The salt is the best part of this channel, other than the video quality. The best part is when people tell me I'm going to lose my viewers because I'm salty. Do you know how many people follow me because I'm salty? I've not changed since day one, so y'all can take that and just shove it where the sun don't shine. And if the sun does shine there, well then, you must be in a nude beach in France. You guys are the best channel. I knew. Please get... Oh, God, it's gone.
Everything's going so fast.
Please get better than perfect. Than dude perfect. What?
What?
I'm the slave king, so go back to the dungeon or no chicken, you stupid nig. Wow. First of all, what is the dungeon?
I don't...
Like,
Do you eat English?
No, but that era, if he's talking about slavery, that era...
Medieval era.
That'd be very medieval era. But if we're talking about medieval, like England and stuff, they were more likely to enslave the Scots than they were anyone from Africa.
True.
Because England was just obviously too caught up in its thing. If we're talking about like Germany too, that's not dealing with like African slaves.
So
like his whole like analogy wasn't even right.
Yeah, I mean Africa didn't come into play until what, like the Crusades? Are we going in history now?
Man, I love history though. Why you read that, Jay? Because I literally read the comment and then like so I'm kind of like
you have to process it.
So I'm kind of like Anchorman, right? Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Oh my God.
And don't even realize it. Jay, I love the channel. Been following for a few years now, but I'm only finally building your first PC. Well, enjoy it, man.
It's cold at top, but that's why we got sweaters.
Perfect example, though, of reading a comment like that out loud is the amount of people that may not have seen that comment go by is the fact that it lets people watching this channel know just how stupid some viewers are from our perspective. Like, literally, just if you looked at the world through our glasses, you'd realize we are fucked. Because
I agree.
The amount of people out there with strong opinions that are just wrong is really high. But the amount of people out there that you were just like, how do you remember to breathe? Level of stupid.
It's literally like...
That's the worst part about being a YouTuber. It is by far the worst part about being a YouTuber. I can't... there are times I literally just have to... When I go into those salty Twitter rants, you guys don't understand. That is my reset button. That is my, like... The steam has come. The pot is like... Your blow off valve. Yeah. When you're boiling water and you're making pasta or whatever... and the
kettles.
Right. But not tea. I'm talking about like the pressure builds up and the lid is like doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
When I'm Twitter ranting, that's the vent. Okay, the venting of that pressure, and then I reset and I'm fine. There are people out there that just it's like you have to be told how you should have ended up as a stain in the sock. I'm sorry. Right, you should have been a smear on the wall or a glory hole. I mean, I'm telling you right now, there are people out there that I just.
How did this happen?
My God.
I mean, some days it feels like Modern Warfare 2 all over again, just a server full of 12-year-olds.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. I've gotten some pretty uneducated comments. Yeah,
You're telling me.
Jay, how much time daily you spent on work?
It varies.
It's never like any less than 8, but it's very often probably more like 10 hours a day.
Yeah, you could push further than that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's on average, and that's cut back. Since we've gotten the team now with you here helping with things, the studio, because if I leave the studio, I can't really do much work other than like correspondence, emails, phone calls. And with the amount of that's been offloaded to Brian, I work less now than I ever have. but it's still full time. It's not like I'm down to part time, because if I go home early, it's not because I'm like, yeah, I'm taking some time off. It's I'm going home to do something else that I can do from home, kind of thing. My wife wants Windows pension for her birthday. Okay. Let's see. AKA, your mother should have swallowed. Yeah, I've used that one before. Nick, I just learned to not let them bother me. You know, that's true for anyone. There's a
fine line.
No. If you've got a random guy once or twice in a month that might make some snarky comment to you on the street, in a store, some guy that rubbed you the wrong way at the gas station, you go on, most of the viewers go on about their merry life and they don't see that guy again.
Yeah.
When you've got 1.2 whatever million people following you, and the amount of those comments that are never-ending barrage, positives as well, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that guy that rubbed you the wrong way at the gas station, or the guy that cut you off and flipped you off on the street that just bothered you that day, that's every day, all day, every day for us. Literally. I can hop on Twitter right now, and I won't have to go very far to find someone that's trying to trigger you like that.
Yeah.
So anyone that says, I learned not to let it bother you, is not lying. It's just they don't have the level of it that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
They don't have the volume of hate that we get. So there is no learning to not let it bother you in this. It's learning to deal with it in various ways. And I think the audience knows the way I deal with it is when I get to that point, the guy that deserves it, I'm going to bitch slap around digitally. It makes me feel better. It's not bullying, it's bullying back.
I have those moments too where I snap back at them, but afterwards I go ahead to block.
Yeah. I kick your ass, Jay? Not a chance. Absolutely no chance. That's just the internet for you. Boo-hoo, listen to him cry. Yeah, I'm gonna block you. Why are you here? If you're just being a stupid little asshole making comments like that, why are you here? See, Royal says can't ban me, bitch. He made a positive comment earlier. This is an example of him just trying to get a reaction. Are VR streams possible yet?
Not yet. What?
No, somebody asked.
Oh, yeah, VR. It's on Twitch. People have been doing it a lot.
They use a 360 camera and you just look around the 360
No,
perspective?
it's kind of like when you did Chair in a Room. They use that perspective screen on the monitor, and they use that. So what? Okay, remember when I had the headset and you were watching what I was doing to the monitor? They're showing that monitor section, not through.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm talking about they're talking about, can you actually look at a live stream in a VR HMD?
I know they did it this year with League of Legends. You could walk around the virtual map and then watch stuff happen.
They must have a bunch of 360 cameras placed that are actually drawing out a digital video image you can move around, right? Like the 360 video feeds you can watch for racing and stuff like that, right? And you can look around the car. I imagine that wouldn't be hard in VR. It's just literally looking around.
Yeah.
Right?
The only time I read about watching VR streams was through that, a virtual arena kind of deal.
Yeah. Jay, you should get a dog. It might help with the stress. Why do you just assume I don't have a dog? His name's Husky. The irony. I have a dog.
I have one too.
I'm not gonna ban Roy, but I'm gonna put him on timeout just because he's being annoying. What do you guys have planned for 2018?
Stuff.
Some pretty cool stuff coming up, I can tell you that. Have you ever worked with Kyle Bennett from Hard OCP? Good site, but he seems like a dick. I think a lot of people would say that about me, right? I have been at events with Kyle, but I don't interact with him. He's written media. He still thinks he's better than all the YouTube stuff. So, Jay have nothing in their life, and this is the tiny attempt at control and being hard. Well, it's anonymity, right? We put ourselves out there. We put our image out there, and they're just pixels on a screen. So anyone can act tough by typing out whatever it is from their basement or their bedroom or whatever it is.
It's kind of like this theory. If people still played at LAN parties, would they still be as disrespectful as they are
No one's
online?
disrespectful at LAN parties.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because
But I think different kinds of people go to LAN parties anyway. Most of these people that would say super salty, hateful things would never go to a public event anyway.
True.
Most of the time. I mean, I went, but like I said, I react more than I don't just put out salty things. I react to salty things.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that whole perfect example. If you were to hit me and I hit you back, they go to me and be like, "Why'd you hit him?" Well, he hit me first. You should just ignore him.
Why are you gonna ignore
That's
it?
the analogy. Anyway, My favorite kind of dog, Doberman Pinscher, for sure. My daughter really wants a husky, but I think it's cruel to have a husky in Southern California.
Very.
There's lots of people that have huskies in my neighborhood too, and it bothers me. In the summertime, they'll take them walking, burning their paws and everything on the ground. But I think it is cruel and unusual to have a cold climate dog in a desert. Sorry. I said it. Had to be said.
I favor Labradors.
I bet. Especially the golden ones.
The yellow.
2Js. Wow, we went 25 minutes past when I wanted to stop. All right, guys, we're going to go. I just wanted to do a live stream here. Do the purge. For all the people who couldn't handle Real J, they can unsub and leave and unfollow and all that stuff. Year-end purging is usually pretty good. But I think a lot of people, too, every day tell me they like the real me. This is the real me.
Keeping it real.
There's no public image. It's the real me. Jay is a paper man, the review guy. Oh, that's the guy that was like, I could kick your ass. Here's what we'll do. We're gonna go look at his channel.
There you go.
Not right now.
Oh.
We're gonna end the stream and then we're gonna go laugh. We're gonna go laugh at him big time. Boop. There we go. Actually, let's look at it right now. Let's look at his channel. The irony that it says stop whining on his. He's got 242 subscribers with. Not a, hold on. Are these his videos? So let's see. Amazon Fire HD 2017 version with DTTO case. You actually did a review of a Kirby G10 versus the Dyson multi-floor vacuum. Okay, there's that. The VTech 2 handset cordless answering system. You still have an answering machine? Jesus Christ.
It's VTech.
You hear the train? Wow. So this guy's got quite the, I would say eclectic, but they all seem to suck. So that's like the constant right there. Silver Star Ultra Halogen Lamps. 9000 H13 9008 review. I will give him this. The Silver Star headlights are nice. I use them on my GSX.
I have them on my Volkswagen.
They're pretty bright. Yeah, for sure. How to redeem DLC codes and find purchased games.
What?
Something tells me one day he didn't know how to redeem a code, so he figured it out and thought it was a great idea to share it because he was like, I didn't know how to do this, so I'm going to share with you how to do it now.
Okay.
Gold's Gym Cycle Trainer 290 exercise bike. Wow. The Braun QML 30SS under cabinet range hood. Let's see what else has he got here. Power plug driven car air freshener review. So the bottom line is, that's a perfect example of why I have no interest in what that guy's opinion is. Because once you look at the channel, it's kind of like,
oh,
what the fuck is wrong with this guy? So anyway, with that said, we're gonna go. You don't do it as full time, no, but I'll tell you what you are as a full time gig. Hit me up. I'll tell you all about what you are as a full time gig. Anyway, guys, we're gonna go. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tomorrow, videos dropping early in the morning. We've actually fully recorded, edited, and have online 2 videos that are not live yet, which sucks. So there's a huge gap in videos yet. But yeah, so
we're live.
I don't like going from Friday to Wednesday without a video, but that couldn't be helped. Anyway, guys, we're gonna turn this off for now. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon. Any final thoughts?
No, bye.